and we try to be carefree and worse.
Greg Hart.
Undermine our democratic institution. We need to stand up and wrong.
Yeah.
Trying to run and meddle in our government, mostly for his own personal gain.
What is the Democrats' unified plan for pushing back on Trump's agenda? How can your constituents support you in this endeavor?
I think I outlined the 3 L's. Legislation, legal, and lowering the cost of living. But what can you do? Organize, resist, engage, and keep speaking out loudly. That's what you can do. I think we all have a piece in this, but the public at large is instrumental in putting the pressure. Whether it's protesting, whether it's organizing marches, all of those are incredibly important. Don't forget, there will be a day where we're going to have to march in Washington again. And it's important to be talking about that and exploring those possibilities. Because we're going to continue to deal with this issue on an ongoing basis.
Next question is, how can we undo the damage that has already been done?
Take back Congress. Take back Congress. And eventually also the presidency. That's when we can start addressing a lot of these issues. No doubt there's going to be damage and impact to the systems and our way of life as we know it. We're all hoping the courts are going to be there for the most part to protect and push back on many of these illegal, non-constitutional actions. But when it comes to deportations, they may not be able to do all their massive deportations because of the power of the purse, but they're going to do damage. When it comes to civil rights, LGBTQ plus individuals, women, you name it, minorities, that damage is already being done. And so we're going to have to go back and replenish a lot of those values through policy that has been eroded in this administration. That's what we're going to have to do. But you can't do that until we change the composition and character of our government.
If the executive branch refuses to enforce the temporary restraining orders at the court, is there anything that we can do?
I would say if we don't see adherence to court orders, that will be our cue of the American people that's the boiling point. That's the boiling point where we are headed towards a dictatorship. And the American people are not going to put up with it. We're going to have to march. We're going to have to get louder. We're going to have to continue to get organized. That is going to be the tipping point. If we see that there's not an adherence to the court's direction, that is when we need to step up our game, because it could be a point of no return. So right now we fight, we get organized, we resist, we speak out. But I will commit to you that the turning point is when there's not adherence to the rule of law and the court's directives on all these issues.
This question was talked about earlier. Is it possible to impeach? Is it possible to impeach Trump, then convict him, then send him to prison?
Again, this is one of those things that when it comes to our strategy, let's not get bogged down on things that are unrealistic right now. That, do we all want to impeach? Absolutely. Is it realistic with being in the minority? And do we want that to be the byline and the headline? Or do we want all the crazy crap that he's doing to be the headline? So, as Democrats, independents, and Republicans who feel the same way, we got to be strategic. He's talking about all these issues. Let's focus on all the major issues. And let's not react to every single stupid thing that he says. He does it for a reason. He does it so he can consumed by every little thing instead of all the major things. And the media oftentimes takes the bait. The media, we love the media, but they take the bait sometimes. And every story is not a story. The media has also responsibility to focus on the big picture. To focus on the major things going on, not Greenland. Okay, Greenland, one other line, move on. So I really am hoping that our media does a great job like they've always done. But don't go for the sensationalism. We have the Inquirer already. You're journalism, you're the media. Do things that are really affecting the American people.
You keep saying the next election. What are you doing to ensure that there is a next election?
You gotta be vigilant. Thank God for all those attorney generals throughout the country that are resistant. They're the ones suing. They're the ones watching to ensure that our democracy still functions. Working with us in Congress, but they're the ones that are putting forward the lawsuits. We need to continue to be vigilant. We need to continue to make sure that there's no shenanigans with our voting systems and keep up the fight. We're not gonna let them steal anything. We're gonna be resistant, we're gonna be organized, and we're gonna speak loudly and use all the tools in our arsenal to resist and push back.
This is the last question because the congressman has to go. What are the other levers, other than through the courts, to stop the crazy things like Trump wanting to do ethnic cleansing in Gaza? And what are the other ways to stop the illegal agenda of the Musk and Trump administration?
We have the power of the purse at the end of the day, and continue to speak out and push legislation that puts them on the hot seat, that makes them accountable to the American people. It's the same thing that I've been saying. We need to continue to push back. We need to do our job in Congress despite being in the minority, and everybody needs, it's all hands on deck. This is not one where Congress is gonna save us. This is not one where just the public opinion is gonna save us. Together, we're all gonna do it. And this is such of a perilous time that everybody needs to play their role. The only thing I would say is, don't get consumed on every stupid thing he says. Greenland?
And with that, Congressman Carbajal has another engagement that he has to attend. So at this point, if... Thank you.
To be somebody. And I don't have the constraints that Salud had, although I must say I did appreciate the few F-bombs that he did. Because I think we all feel them in our own way. Some of us who are taught not to use those words, and some who were taught and don't really give a damn that we aren't supposed to talk about. I think everybody is here, and there are hundreds of people outside. It is incumbent upon us to do this spirit of survival to the rest of the country. It's time we took action. Action! So what can we do?
Recycle your Tesla.
We can speak with the power of our purse and only frequent and go to stores and companies that respect diversity, that respect that we are a big tent, and that every person in this country has a right to the same opportunities that we got because we are a nation of immigrants. We need to respect that.
Economic boycotts called for by Hanna Beth Jackson.
So put your money where your values are. And it is my hope that Indivisible, and thank you for putting this together, we needed someone to step up. We'll put on their website, and there is information that tells you what companies are standing tall and have not bent the knee to Donald Trump and his fascist elements.
Oh, sounds familiar. Boycotts led by Hanna Beth
And
Jackson.
not open a single dollar to the companies that, particularly if you took a look on his inauguration, who was sitting in the front rows. And he's made no bones about who he cares about. We have to make no bones about who we care about. No money.
A shrieking shrew.
No more Facebook. There's Blue Sky. Sign up for Blue Sky. Call Congress. Call Salud's office.
Fomenting
Call
division.
Medina's office. Call Schiff's office. I don't care that they know how we feel. If we start shutting down those elements, people will realize that we mean business and that we are a strong voice. And I will ask everyone who's outside to take a photo and put it up on social media, because we are the majority in this country and our voice needs to be heard, and every person here will use social media and you have to ask your grandchildren how to post. But post up that said you were here fighting for the people and fighting for democracy. That's what we're here to do. And I'm gonna make a statement that if I were interested in politics would probably preclude that in the future. We need in the United States Senate a wartime consigliere. We need new leadership to speak for us in the United States Senate. You know what I'm saying? We need progressive voices that aren't afraid to speak out, because the fact of the matter is that most people, when you talk to them about the things they care about, Social Security, Medicare, programs for veterans, the ability for people to have the opportunity to succeed and to be the best people they can be, they agree with us. They share those values. There's no name calling. It's not communism, it's not Marxism, it's the American way. And it's important that we have a leader in the United States Senate who is going to stand up, going to filibuster, going to do everything possible so that the next round of goofballs that are being considered for high positions in our government are rejected. We must reject the kind of incompetence that is about to take over the running of our government offices. We need a spokesman to do it. Send that message. Chuck Schumer, your day is now done. We need leadership. We need Elizabeth Warren or an Amy Klobuchar. We also need to support a free press. We need to support groups, our local press, very important. What goes on in the world that affects us locally, affects our lives directly. We need to support our local media. We need to support groups like Cal Matters and other organizations that give us the truth. NPR, PBS. We need to support those organizations. If you have the dollars, put them on. Nationally. You want to know what's happening in politics? Go to Politico, go to The Nation, go internationally to The Guardian. You'll find out what's really going on in America. Support them, give them $50. Maybe if you have more, give them that. It's just a few Starbucks, what the heck? I mean, we have a responsibility to let the truth be told and to make sure that it is. So those are a few things. Litigation, very important. We're not going to win this necessarily in Congress. We haven't got a single Republican who's got a spine sitting in Congress today. My parents, who were sort of those progressive Republicans from Massachusetts, I hear them rolling over in their graves. Now, what happened to their party? So we've got to do this ratification. The ACLU.